And now time to talk about the actual timeline that you guys are going to see happen in real time. The only step that you guys will not see is the intake call. The intake call starts with a phone call. We talk to the client, take down basic information, and that's what we're going to be delivering on to you. The next one is the opportunity seeking. This is when we actually forward you guys a potential opportunity. An opportunity is just another word for a job. On that is going to come a bunch of information. Let us know if you want it. The next one, the contractor introduction. Assuming you like the opportunity and would like to take the job, we make the intro. Once the intro is made, we ask that you schedule that bid walkthrough. Again, time and communication, nice and snappy. Once the walkthrough is completed, we look for that very first bid to come back. We all know we've never knocked out a bid on the first try. So after the first bid is done, we then wait for the final bid, and now we go on to our final bid. Once the final bid has been taken in, we then send that back to the lender along with a couple other documents that we'll talk about, and that goes off to the appraisal and getting our clear to close. Once our clear to close happens, the appraisal is good to go, we get that thing closed. So now we'll go into a little bit more depth on each of these steps and what your role is in them. The intake call is done by someone in the Makeover Renovation system. This is an opportunity for us to have our first touch with the contact and collect all of the basic information that we need. During this call, we're going to be collecting, of course, name and contact info, the address of the future project, what their basic scope of work is going to look like. Now, they haven't met with the HUD consultant and home inspector yet, so we'll just really know what their wants are at this point, as opposed to all the needs that we'll discover later. We're also going to determine whether this thing is a new purchase, a reno refi, or a cash deal, so that we can let you know. And then we're going to take all of this information, pass it off to the lenders, to the HUD consultants, and all of the above to make sure everybody's on the same page. If we've already got them, we'll also include things like photos, videos, drawings, and inspection response, depending on when the client comes to us in the whole process. So we sometimes also include a Zillow listing, just so you can get an idea of what the house's current shape is in, if we don't have other photos involved as well. This is also a great time for us to just ask questions, answer questions, and build a general rapport with the client, to make sure they're comfortable, they know the process, they know what's coming, and they're ready for the next steps. The opportunity-seeking email means there's a potential job out there that's ready to be filled. We will send this email out to one contractor at a time to see who's available to do the project. We do ask that you respond to us within 24 hours. We need to know as fast as humanly possible, are you guys able to do this job? And more importantly, would you like to? There is no penalty whatsoever for turning a job down at any point. We would actually prefer that you turn a job down if you just can't get to it. We don't want to send a client a contractor who's too busy or not really interested in the job at all. We'd rather you just say no and wait for the next one to come in. That opportunity is going to come in the form of an email that looks something like this. You're going to have the address on where the project's located. Again, we'll have already considered, your location, where it is you like to do projects, and base that off of the jobs that we send you. So more than likely, the address will work for you, but want to give you the option. We'll throw in here the scope of work. This is what the client has told us they'd like to have done. If the HUD consultant or home inspector's already been out there, we'll also have things in here that need to be done. So you just have to wait and see what we get. The project budget will be listed here. This is a budget. This is by no means what they are able to spend and what they might be willing to spend. If you've been in the contracting world long enough, you know that no one sticks to their budget. So just take this as a grain of salt, kind of a starter point to get things started. Below that, you're going to see the kind of purchase. Is this a new home purchase, a reno refi, or a cash? The reason we put this on here is because it kind of lets you know what the speed looks like of how fast we need to get to this job. Of course, we want to get to them all quickly, but if this pops up and it's a reno refi or a cash job, we aren't fighting with any kind of timeline. There's no contract that we're trying to hit. There's no specific date that it needs to be done. None of the above. So we have a little bit more leeway in reno refis and cash jobs. However, if it's a new home purchase, You know that this client is under contract. They've got a couple weeks for you to go check out the job and get them a bid back. So if it says new home purchase, that means speed is of the essence for sure. And then down here, we'll have additional information. This is going to be one of two things. It'll either be a Google Drive that sends you to more photos, videos, and drawings that tell you a little bit more about the project. Or it's going to be a link to a Zillow or a Trulia or whatever it might be that shows you what the house looks like. That means we don't have any additional photos on it, and unfortunately that's the best we'll be able to give you. So when we send you guys the opportunity email, again, we'd love to hear back within 24 hours. A simple "we can't do it" or a simple "we'll take it" will suffice. That's all we need. And again, to reiterate, there's no penalty for turning down a job, for turning down 2 jobs, 3 jobs, whatever it might be. There's no penalty. We would prefer that you turn a job down if you can't get to it or you don't want to do it, as opposed to taking the job on and then that client not having a great experience. So once the opportunity seeking is commenced and we found a contractor to take care of it, we then move on to the introduction. The contractor introduction is our form of a virtual handshake. It's a simple email that goes out to both you and the client that gives one another's information. You'll have their contact info, an updated scope of work if it's changed at all, and basically next steps on where to go from here. The client will in turn receive a URL to your website, URL to your social media page, a little bio on you, name, company name, address, all the above, so that they can go and do some of their own research. We've determined that pretty much 100% of clients are going to do external research. So we just go ahead and give them the good information so that they know where to go and they get to see some good stuff. When you fill out your initial application, you will give us all of that info. That info is what we're going to use to share on and introduce you to those clients. So we want to make a good first impression. Once the introduction has happened, similar to accepting an opportunity, we ask that you reach out to the client within 24 hours. This could be email, this could be text, this could be phone call, any of the above. We'd love for you to reach out and see if you can't get that bid appointment scheduled. If you can't schedule it at that time for whatever reason, just reach out and say, "Hey, sorry I'm busy. I'll call you in the morning, call you this afternoon," whatever it might be, and we'll set up a time to walk your property. This needs to be done very, very fast. The clients are very, very eager and very excited to get their project moved on, and they want to know that their contractor is on the same page. Again, speed and communication popping up in this module and all over the place. Once you guys have that bid appointment scheduled, we just need to know the date. Shoot us an email and we'll shoot you a couple reminder emails. If you can just reply to one of those, shoot us an email with the date that you guys are going to be walking the property. That allows us to move you along in the process and allows us to basically stay off your back. It's our job to make sure that the client and the contractor are introduced and the appointment is scheduled. So the less we have to reach out to you, the better. If you shoot us that information right out of the gate, you won't hear from us again. After the introduction is made and the bid schedule walkthrough is done, we move on to the next step.